what could have been now may be an afterthought. The Kawhi Leonard saga is now unfolding in our very eyes, and while still an active player, everything going on is probably going to diminish some of his goodwill in the NBA and also goodwill with his fans. I mean, the report came out that the NBA has to investigate the Clippers, mainly Steve Ballmer and Kawhi Leonard, for some fraudulent backstage stuff. If you don't know about it, go read about it. I'm not going to explain it here because it's crazy. But basically, Kawhi Leonard has been doing some unsavory things and making a lot of money by doing them. And now even more has come to light. And it may somewhat ruin what was a solid career, not the greatest career, but a solid career. What I mean is Uncle Denis, his uncle, who has been an integral part of his career, has made some decisions for him that paint somewhat of a negative picture. And this is from Baxter Holmes from ESPN, where he cites the Athletic in different places. But basically, Steve Ballmer and the Clippers were kind of bamboozled. I mean, the demands he had to either stay in Toronto or become a Los Angeles Laker were pretty steep. And here are what we know. Part ownership of the team, a private plane, a house, and guaranteed off-court endorsement money. Now, the part ownership part is just insanity. I mean, Kawhi was coming off of 2 championships. The one he won in Toronto, Finals MVP. That would be his second Finals MVP. And a second championship in the span of about 6 years or so. He won in 2014 and then 2019. And these were what they wanted for them to sign the dotted line and be a member of the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, we know all these things transpired. Kawhi became a Clipper, although many rumblings of him joining LeBron James in a Laker jersey were swirling around, but ultimately we all had a sigh of relief when he decided to join the Clippers. And then from there, he was able to finagle Paul George from the OKC Thunder, which of course sent one Finals MVP and reigning MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to the OKC Thunder, which we see was a huge win for Oklahoma City, but ended up being a curse in Clipper country because, of course, Kawhi couldn't stay healthy, neither could Paul George. The whole experiment with those two together, which on paper looked like the perfect combination, ended up fizzling out in the end. I think they might have played maybe 2 seasons together, really, and not full seasons. Just they had some pairings throughout the season, but not a whole lot. And of course, in the playoffs, most of the time, Kawhi went down or Paul George went down, or Paul George was down at the time. So it just was pretty much a curse for Steve Ballmer and the Los Angeles Clippers. And Steve Ballmer seems like a willing payer, and that's what he was. He not only paid these guys some major money, but he also helped them get at their own arena, so they wouldn't have to play in the same arena as the Lakers and have Laker fans just kind of take over their games. He spent his money to get them their own place to do their thing. So ultimately, Uncle Denis, as we talked about earlier, swindled them into doing all these things, spending all this money for Kawhi. Now, I don't know the specifics to his contract. I don't know if all those needs were met. I doubt he's part owner of the Clippers. I wouldn't think that Steve Ballmer would sign that away. That's a huge get for a current player. And I mean, let's be real. Kawhi Leonard is not Michael Jordan. He's not Kobe Bryant. He's not even LeBron James. Now, we may call him the LeBron Slayer. Shout out to Demon Slayer. If you haven't seen it, go see that. But he's not that. Those guys are their names are somewhat bigger than basketball in a lot of forms. He's not that. So the fact that he try to get that, or not him, but I guess his uncle wanted that. That's part insanity and part, hey, I mean, shoot for the stars. But Kawhi Leonard was not worth all of that. So now we're hearing little rumblings. I don't know if these are truthful, but I know Clutch Points wrote a little article that the Los Angeles Clippers are thinking of moving on from Kawhi and no longer building around him. And if that is true, then they're likely going to try to trade him. I mean, there's no purpose of continue to pay him that big contract and not build around him, because they can get that off the books and just rebuild. I'm sure there are teams out there that are looking to win now that need that little spark that can get them over the hump to a potential conference finals or a potential championship. Kawhi has $50 million coming to him this season, 2025-2026, and $50 million coming to him next season, the 2026-2027 season, and then he'd be an unrestricted free agent. So there's no way they're letting him just walk away, which is what they would do if he let the contract just expire. Of course, they're doing some investigations in-house in the NBA, so whatever they find there could lead to his contract being nullified or something of that stature. But for right now, he is contractually obligated for this season and next season, and then he can walk free. There's no way Steve Ballmer is going to pay him that kind of money for this season and the next and just let him go on his merry way. None whatsoever. So if they're truthfully not seeking to build around Kawhi Leonard anymore, now with a veteran-style team, of course you have James Harden. He's up there. CP3 this is his last season. Nick Batum, he's up there. Brook Lopez, he's up there. Bradley Beal's getting long in the tooth. Zubac is probably in his prime, but he's not a spring chicken either. So they got an older team, but a veteran team. So do you infuse this team with young stars or younger guys by trading Kawhi to a young team or a team willing to get rid of or shed some young talent? Do you risk that with the current roster, or do you completely blow it up? I mean, I'm not sure what Steve Ballmer wants to do, because if there's no Kawhi, or if they're trying to trade Kawhi, what's the need of the other guys? What's the need of James Harden? What's the need of Bradley Beal? What's the need of Nick Batum? I mean, those guys are all solid, but they're guys that you can play with Kawhi to help him be a better player and to really maximize his strengths. Without him, it gets a little murky, and they now have to make some big decisions. Do they want draft picks? Do they want maybe a perennial star, a Jalen Green type guy, somebody that's not quite there yet, but could get there, could get over the hump and really be a standout in the NBA? Do they try to bring LaMelo Ball back to the West Coast, to his people in California? But do the Charlotte Hornets take on the extremely tall task of Kawhi Leonard with a huge contract and really nothing that's going to come good out of that trade, other than the Clippers getting what they want and the Hornets being stuck with probably a disgruntled superstar or star? I wouldn't call him superstar at this moment. And come on now, Uncle Denis doesn't want part ownership of the Charlotte Hornets. I'm sorry. And that's my home team. So that's me being real. He doesn't want that. But either way, does Uncle Dennis's crazy requests and demands make Kawhi look like a greedy star, like a guy that plays it humble, but in reality is just out there trying to swindle these owners for money under the table and just super crazy incentives? And plus, does this not make OKC look like geniuses? They pretty much got exactly what they needed and wanted out of that trade, even though the fact we thought that OKC kind of got the cheap end of the deal. I mean, they're walking around with a Larry O'Brien right now. So they definitely got the better of this deal, and the Clippers are just in pure chaos. If some of these things are true, and this investigation shows that Kawhi, his uncle, Steve Ballmer, they did some less than legal things, does this make Kawhi Leonard look a little bit suspect when it comes to his legacy? I mean, for as great as a player he is, and the things he did as a Spur, even as a Raptor, does that hurt it? Or should we point the fingers to Uncle Denis and assume that maybe Kawhi just didn't care? He doesn't look like that type of guy. Maybe he let Uncle Denis take care of everything, and Uncle Denis had high demands that maybe weren't what Kawhi was asking, but he tried to flex Kawhi's status in the face of these owners and get the most, or get what he thought that Kawhi was worth, and try to put his fingerprints on his career. I'm not sure, but this is getting messy and it's getting ugly for a player that I actually like and admire. But I hope some of these allegations aren't true and he can just get back on the court and be the Kawhi we know he can be when he's fully healthy. But either way, what do you guys think? Did Uncle Denis mess up Kawhi's standing in the league, or were these just smart moves by a smart guy? I mean, I don't know Uncle Denis, so, whatever he said might be worth it. Either way, let me know in the comment sections below. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit it with a like and subscribe. I really enjoy doing what I do, and it's all possible with you guys giving me the energy to come on here and do this. But if you didn't like it, that's fine, but I do appreciate you watching and listening and getting this far in the video. So with that said, I'll be back very soon with more content. Thank you.